Yo, 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 what is up, Bullish Nation? How's it going? Oh man, this was, honestly, I can't even be too mad about this one. I mean, it's the 76ers. The Bulls are pretty injury laden right now. The roster is looking tough. At one point, it was Archie, Kobe White, Hutchison, who else? Cornette and or Felicio and Thaddeus Young or something. Like it was just there were some rough lineups out there today, but as always, I got my boy Josh on here to break it down. Josh, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good. The Bulls, they kept in it for 2 quarters before giving up. So I mean, I guess we can give them credit for at least playing half a game.
That's normally how it is though with the Bulls. It's they go at it for 2 quarters with any team and then end up in the current 1-17 versus teams with a plus 500 record, which obviously is no sign of playoff contention in that regard, if that's still something that people are thinking about. But there are a couple very interesting and concerning things that are consistently happening with the Bulls. Most of them regarding Lauri Markkanen not getting a lot of shots, not getting a lot of playing time. Under 30 minutes again for Lowry today, 28 minutes. I mean, Thad Young played 32 minutes, and Thaddeus wasn't even having a good game. Like, he was actually pretty mediocre, and they're in the same position. I'm not saying Lowry was just an all star out there today, but Thaddeus Young wasn't playing well, and Lowry is, your is your second best offensive player. LaVine had his game, but I want to stay on Lowry first. Like we're beating a dead horse with the Lowry talk. So is there anything else for you to add? Like, what? I'm just at a loss for words.
It's crazy because he had 12 points at halftime and he had 12 points at the end of the game. It's just so mediocre what we're getting from him. And this isn't even him. This is just sure you can put some on him, you can put some on the coach, you can put some on everything. But it's just a joke at what he's turned into because in the first half, like he showed us what he can do. He was set. You double 12, you get 24 points. It's a good game. And he doesn't get the touches. I just don't understand how you can go away from your leading scorer and your second best offensive player. And it's like it's happened all season, and I just don't get why no adjustments have been made to get him involved. Like, why can't the Bulls prioritize getting this man the ball, get him in his spots? Why is the mid range being banned from Markkinen, from Kobe White? Like, you got to get these guys in their spots if you want them to be good. And it's a joke. And I'm pretty fed up with it, man. Like, 12 points at halftime, 12 points in the second half. Rested for 11 minutes from the end of the first quarter to the halfway through the second. So it's just a joke at this point.
It honestly sucks because Lowry is becoming the go-to second draft guy right now, which sucks. Like, right? You don't want Lowry to be that second draft guy for another team, so he can find his footing on a different team when he goes there and is used correctly and blossoms. Kind of like I mean, they're very different players, but just the rise of Ingram once he's in a situation where it's a lot more suited for him. Uh, and Lowry is that type of potential star, right? Like he has that
Mm.
number one scorer type skill set. I feel like maybe yeah he needs to be put into those situations, but if you consistently put him into those situations, he's shown that he could be amazing. And that's the thing is you're not gonna play well if your morale is down, if you're waking up every day questioning. Like the mental is the most important part of the game. I know I've talked to you about this, Josh, and I talked to a lot of people about this. It's the head game. Like what you're thinking about, how you're approaching the day, your mentality, that affects everything you do, especially the game. It affects your practice, so you're not practicing as efficiently, so you're not getting better like you should. You're not playing as well in games, and I genuinely think there's something that isn't clicking. That is either eating at him, just not right in the right place. And obviously, I don't know him personally, so I don't want to say he's having like problems, but it doesn't seem like there isn't a problem. It doesn't. So I don't know. Lowry Markkinen, I just hope for him. I hope that he finds a place or a role or something that is good and fits him, and it sucks that it's not happening here. Whether it's Boylan not using him correctly, whether it's, you know, I don't know. I just can't really put something on it besides Boylan's coaching at this point, and how he's using Lauri Markkanen, because yes, it is somewhat on Lowry. I'm not going to fully dismiss Lowry from this, because you also need to be strong and, go out there and play as well as you possibly can every single night on your own too. But it's tough to overcome that. So, like, putting him in that tough situation is also a problem. Anyway, let's move on to, our regular old Zach LaVine having 23 points. He, ended his streak of 25 points mostly due to his 0 of 7 3-point outing today. And the Bulls, what were they like? They missed like 12 3-pointers in a row or something towards the end. 8 of 35, 23%, which was a big. They stayed in the game. They kept it within 10 almost all game. Like, what was up with the 3-point shooting, Josh?
Yeah, it's interesting for Zach because he's been such a dynamite from three this season. 0 for 7. There's not really any. I think the 76ers defense, which was really good. I got some big guys in there mixed with. I think Zach might have been a little bit too overhyped or nervous or whatever. Being on the big stage, national television. I don't know, but he didn't really look the same out there. He did look like he was forcing it a little bit. Wasn't trying to stay too fluid, and then the Bulls kind of went away from him for majority of the fourth quarter. It was turned into Satoransky, post up over Ben Simmons, and Satoransky isolation of 2 on the shot clock, and Archie Diacono 3 from a logo. So it was a pretty mediocre game from Zach from what we've been, seeing from him this year. I expected him to probably move on from this and put on a better performance against the Cavaliers tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can hope is win against the teams that are under 500, because besides a one Clippers game that was kind of, a last-second win, well, it was a good one. I'm not trying to take that away. It's just like the only win against a good team that the Bulls have this year. Other than that, other things that I noticed, like, I don't understand why you can allow so many open lanes for Ben Simmons. Like, it wasn't all game, but there was at least 3 to 4 separate times where it was just like, okay, Ben Simmons is just completely wide open, or he's finding someone that's completely wide open, which is interesting to me. I don't know why that was happening. I couldn't pinpoint it. Felicio got a lot of minutes. Let's talk about Felicio, because we never really get to talk about Felicio. 14 minutes, 5 points for the big man, minus 16. Only better than Zach LaVine, who was minus 17 this game. Felicio at one point, I don't know, I didn't check the actual minutes, but our respected coach Pelotti, Paulo T. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce his last name, but he was saying Felicio more minutes than Lowry. I think at one point might have been the case. I'm not 100% sure, but 14 minutes to end the night. How did you find Felicio's actual minutes today? Because last time they kind of put him in and took him out really quickly, and today he actually got some run.
I actually was. I don't want to say I was impressed with anything Felicio does on a basketball court, but there was a one.
You could say it if it's impressive.
I was pleased with how he was actually guarding that blitz.
Yeah.
Like, I was reasonably happy with the job he was doing on Al Horford, but it's just so frustrating to. The problem with Felicio and Kornet is that when Felicio's out there on offense, like, you see the defender, whether it be Al Horford or Carl Quinn, they just sit in the paint. And then when Kornet's out there, he's just chucking step-back threes. So it's like, they both have so many. The game is both so flawed. It's like, this big man thing is such a problem with me. But with Felicio, I think he was pretty Felicio-ish. But I mean,
top two.
What do we expect from him?
Your top 2 bigs are out, so that's not really something you can get too mad about. Which is why I'm more upset that, like, Lowry didn't play any minutes at center. Like, I don't understand why you're not trying any Lowry at center minutes. And he did destroy Kyle O'Quinn, though, on that one dunk that he had. O'Quinn came late, so, like, it wasn't a full-on, like, poster, just meeting him at the rim. But It
He
looked like
stared
it.
him
It,
down.
it, it looked like it. I mean, if you captured the if you got the right frame on your photograph, like it definitely looked like a major poster there. So let's give Felicio some credit.
He
Any
stared down Quinn as well.
Oh, that was
He didn't know
funny.
what to
That was
do. Like he
funny.
didn't know whether to talk or like what to do, like to flex. So he just looked at him.
I was way too hyped. See, I'm just gonna look for the little things in the Bulls games when the season's kind of going to a point where, um, I don't know. We'll see where the season goes. I'm not gonna cut
How
anything
about
out.
Luke Cornett? 8 threes. 8 threes to Markkanen's 5. Wow.
Luke Cornett having more shots than Lauri Markkanen. Kobe White, I guess, like even Kobe White shouldn't have more shots than Markkanen, but with the way the Bulls play and how it's going, like it's not that surprising to me.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
you
Yeah.
know, because he's kind of just a chucker out there, which is fine. Like it not in a bad way. Kobe White hasn't really been annoying me at all the past few games. Like if he misses the shots, it's fine. Sometimes he doesn't make the play. He kind of gets caught in the lane against like the arms and the length, and then kind of just pivots 3 or 4 separate times, and he's doesn't really have the length to give a good pass. So I mean, those types of plays kind of annoy me, but. Other than that, Kobe White is fine. 14 points, 5 of 13 from the floor, 4 assists, 4 boards for the rookie. I want to go to you. Like anything else that kind of stuck out to you? What are you thinking about with this, Bulls team against Philly, first and only national game of the season?
When he killed the vibe, only national game of the season. That's bad, but it's deserved for
Hey,
how the
but
season's
yeah,
gone.
they should not be on national team. They shouldn't have even been on
No,
once.
no, but exactly. Maybe like a preseason game, but that's all they deserve. Nothing else. Like we don't want to see this. Just get it off. I don't want to listen to Jim Boylan interviews at halftime. I've got better things to do with my time. But a couple of things to point out. Just obviously the Cornet playing basically the exact same. One less minute than Markkanen is a disgrace. Getting more shots than Markkanen in less minutes is also a disgrace. I was impressed with Chandler Hutchison throughout a portion of this game. He made a three, he had a couple of nice driving layups, but he did some dumb stuff too, which we kind of expect from his entire roster. Archie was pretty frustrating. He was shooting from the logo, and I just wanted to get him off the court. And then
So
I don't know why Thad was getting 32 minutes compared to Larry's 28. What did Thad bring to the table tonight? I guess the point was to have him on Simmons, but he didn't do anything. He turned the ball over. He missed shots. I just didn't see what he was doing out there.
So this is what I need to say here. Like the Bulls weren't just playing bad. They were playing against a team that is elite defense. Like Josh Richardson, Matisse Thybulle, who is just amazing.
Oh, he's a beast.
He's just
He's good.
crazy. Like Satoransky couldn't even move next to him. LaVine was getting hounded. And then Ben Simmons also just a beast defensively. They didn't even have Embiid. Horford's always a good defender. So the Bulls, who struggle offensively anyway, seeing them not really being able to create anything against this great Philly defense wasn't that surprising. I was honestly happy that they were competing all night and they kind of kept it within 10. They brought it down to single digits and it kind of stayed around 10 really the whole second half. They were in it the first half, obviously up one going into the going into the half. So it wasn't that disappointing of a game for me overall. Like yeah, the Lowry stuff that's kind of a problem that just exists now. It's not particular to this one game. Chris Dunn, they literally were not even. They just wanted him to shoot. They were not guarding him at all. Zero
Oh,
zero
man.
points, 2 boards, 2 assists. They were playing great defense on him in terms of just letting him wide open, and
Just
then
leaving him,
but
just sitting under the rim on
yeah,
him.
yeah, but then
Yeah, they
they
had to
got
pull him out.
they know when to recover back if he's gonna drive in too. So like it just there wasn't anything for Chris Dunn to do. It was, and if
Exactly.
so,
He didn't play in all the fourth quarter, which is understandable.
100%.
He was killing the momentum. Just the defense was just the offense. Sorry, it's just so flawed of him out there, man. I love Chris on defense, but the offense just. Do you agree if the offense just completely minuses it out? Like he's so simple on offense. He cannot bring anything to the table, and oh man.
Well, look, it's when you already don't have a cohesive offensive system, which we haven't seen since the preseason. I still would pull up that tape. Maybe we should do a preseason look back. Let's do that. Like we should do that. Just get some film on like
Mm.
how they were actually playing offense in the preseason. Obviously, the defense in the preseason is different when like the other team playing defense against you is going to be a lot lower level. But at least try to do the offense that you saw in that time frame. Like Lowry was great. Like Lowry wasn't getting a lot of shots, but it was like because everyone else was getting equal shots and it was
Yeah,
equal
yeah,
opportunity. Now it's like,
exactly.
oh, Zach LaVine's taking over, and then it's
Kobe and then Cornet and
there's last second, heaves that are happening, or Lowry is just being used to space. Like in the preseason, he was moving around and passing and like touching the ball. When you're not touching the ball in the possession is when it's annoying to me. Not when you're not getting a lot of shots, because that can happen with you touching the ball and with you not touching the ball. One is not a problem. One is a problem, and it's very clear. Like the whole thing just kind of shuts down, especially against a good defensive team like Philly. Um, Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, it's Friday. We don't need to go on too long. We're gonna do the trade pods. Uh, those are gonna be fun. Furkan Korkmaz, I just want to give him a shout out. My guy, my Turkish guy, right there. Six of
career
nine,
high.
six of
The
nine
Bulls let
from
this man get.
three.
Have you noticed this is such a trend? The Bulls let these role players, like credit to Korkmaz, he's a really good shooter. But the Bulls let these role players light them up every game. So generally, they do a good job at containing like the best player. Like you look at the Magic game, Vucevic was contained nicely. It's Terrence Ross came off the bench and dropped 30 on us. It's always some role player that will come off the bench and absolutely cook us. And I think that's the turning point for the Bulls. It happened last season too. I mean, it's not the only blame. There's so many, but this seems to be a factor to consider in most of these
Well,
games.
blitz defenses lead to open shooters generally because blitzing, if played right by the offense, can is immediately identifying a double team that's coming at you fast. So it's like a tough to control double team because you're going so hard and going so fast. So you need to have all the other things moving correctly. So then when you have this main guy being stopped, the ball handler being blitzed, the ball's moving around, and it usually gets to a role player. I mean, Korkmaz was hitting like crazy shots. There was a couple times he was wide open, which kind of got him heated up a little bit, I guess. And then he was hitting just everything. Even there was one where they called a foul on like off ball or something, and then he shot it in the rhythm.
On Cornet, Cornet jumped
Yeah,
at him.
rhythm of the play. He just finished it after the whistle. Knocked that one down too. I was feeling it. Obviously, like Furkan Korkmaz is like my guy, so I was pretty happy about that. If we're gonna
Who you
lose,
taking, Osman or Korkmaz? Who you
dude, it
taking?
was clearly Osman before this season, but I feel
I
so
feel you.
bad for Jetty, man. He's just in a situation where one, they're not competing. Two, um, Garland and Sexton both are ball dominant guards that aren't good at playmaking. Kevin Porter Jr. is fully isolation mode scorer right now. He's a rookie, so like it's not their fault. I'm not blaming the rookies for Jetty Osman not being. Those are kind of who they are. So then it's hard to make a system where it's free flowing and egalitarian. And that type of system is where Jetty can actually shine because he's kind of good at everything, but he's not elite at anything.
Mm.
Which makes him a great player to just have on your rotation as your like fifth starter to kind of put everything together, or as your seventh, eighth man, to give you solid minutes. He'll give you a solid 15 to 25 depending on what you need that night, whether it's in the regular season or the playoffs. I just really want like a random Lakers trade to happen because he's good friends with LeBron. He
I
gets
know
he
LeBron
gets
loves that dude.
yeah, LeBron loves Jetty, and that's like a
Yeah,
huge thing in the Turkish community, the LeBron Jetty
yeah.
connection. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's highly off topic. But
Just
yeah,
on topic quickly,
yeah. What's
do
up?
you think? Okay, so looking at the Bulls right now, just going through that box score, looking at the players who play. Obviously, no Denzel. I mean, that's just a really boiling Denzel beef at this point. There's no explanation for it. I doubt like there's literally no other reason Denzel wasn't playing. I think we can both come to that conclusion. Do you think maybe that if Wendell and Otto are healthy, I know this is the thing with the Bulls. Everything is such a what if, like because all these things go wrong. We saw this beautiful basketball being played in preseason. Like, remember that Raptors in that Hawks game? We put up like 140 points and we were 130 points, and we were playing super well. Like, would the Bulls actually be close to 500 with a healthy roster? Like, where do you sit on that?
So it's really tough with the Bulls. One, because there's a lot of problems that persist game to game that are, I think, more than just the injuries, but then the injuries are also a factor. Like, you can't take out the injuries. I don't like to focus on the injuries right now just because it's an easy cop out to the actual systematic issues at hand.
Exactly.
But it is like right now it's at the point where the injuries are just like fuck. Like, what are we gonna do with
Like we've got
without
the third
you
string
know
minimum
we have
center
no
starting
wings.
playing 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
such a joke.
we have no wings. Our only wing has been hurt all season, which was the biggest weakness of the roster anyway.
And
So
we knew it was going
yeah,
to happen too. We knew Otto was going to go down. Preseason pods were saying
that
we're screwed if Otto goes down. And what happened 10 games in? He's out
yeah,
probably this season.
he played 9 games. He hasn't played anything else, and the Bulls are without the most crucial piece to their roster because they don't have anyone to do what he brings. So with that sense, like, it's hard to fully evaluate what the roster's potential is because you know how I am. Like, if there's a problem, you try to solve it. With Otto Porter, like, even if there were systematic issues with the how they're playing and stuff, playing the ideal version of basketball that the Bulls team we know can play with Otto, Lowry, Zach, and whatever, it's still there. I don't think it's not there. It just needs to appear. It just can't when you don't have all the pieces. So it's
And the
like,
system,
yeah.
it
So
just needs a
it's
big reboot.
it's just like a whirlpool, a negative cycle, just kind of sucking itself in. It's
Exactly.
and
And what do we do for season?
and
Like,
that's why, like, I don't even necessarily think Boylan can't put that into place. Like, that preseason basketball that we all loved was also under Boylan.
and
So
so was Lowry's till February last year under
yeah,
Boylan. But yet
under
this
Boylan,
offense has been switched
we've seen, and
with Otto out, Carter out, Gafford out, and we're still playing the same style of play.
that's
I just don't
why
work it out.
if I see something positive from one player for either one season or 1 month or whatever, I'm just like, okay, it's in there. Now it's
It's not
about
an outlier,
now
exactly. He did it for
now
a full month.
100%. Now it's about extracting it and putting consistency on top of it. So for me, like, I don't want to say, I'd rather the Bulls and Boylan and everything go back to the things we know are in there deep down than call for the firing or for the trade of players that can't do it or a coach that can't coach or whatever. Because I know at the maximum capacity of everyone involved, it can click. I hope that happens instead. And then if, like, let's say the Bulls do end up firing either Garpax or firing Boylan or trading one of the young guys or whatever negative thing that can happen, I look at why did it happen and what could have been done better and why didn't. So that's kind of how I like to look at things. So it just sucks because we've seen it. If it was just like we've never seen any of this, then it's harder to point at something to look to, like, as a fix or as a solution. I just think when the solution we've seen before in other times, you just need to do everything to look back at that and try to have everyone fall on that same page. Anyway, like that's but right now we're so ravaged with injury. There's so much other emotions going around. The locker room's clearly broken with Denzel in there. Just looking for trades, not really being played. Which, like, you're going 10-man rotation with like three main guys out, and Denzel's still not getting minutes. And it's just like, if I don't know, it's tough. It's a tough situation for everyone involved. Hopefully they get healthy. Anything else you want to say, or any other questions that are just on your mind?
It's just crazy to me that the two best players are still healthy, like on this team. Like we can debate that maybe Wendell is ahead of Larry, but I
They're all
mean,
kind of in the same mix.
yeah, yeah. But if we go by what we were told this season, you know, Pax said this is only going to go as far as Larry Markin and Zach LaVine is going to take us. I just don't get why you have all these injuries
No,
and
I
these
mean,
guys are
it's
only
too.
combining for 29 shots a night out of 81. And these are your two like only competent offensive players. I mean, Kobe White is extremely flawed, but he can be pretty good. And you look down the roster, like who else
Yeah.
put the ball in the hoop?
No,
Like
that's a
these
great
two need to
point.
take at least half the shots, like 20 each. Like It has to happen.
Lowry not getting 15 shots a game is just misuse of the roster. Honestly, like you can't have Lowry market and not take 15 shots a game. One, Lowry needs to know that. Two, Boylan and the assistant coaches that are making the game plan need to know that, and go after it. Like again, for me, it's so obvious to all of us. I'm just so curious what the actual non-politically correct answer slash reasoning is. Like I want to drink a bottle of wine with the coaching staff each. Everyone has their own bottle of wine. At the end of that bottle of wine, I just want to ask, why is Lowry not getting 15 shots? Like, what is the actual reason? I need the truth serum answer to come out because, like, it's baffling to me. I cannot find any reason why.
He's not seasoned enough, okay? Larry Markkinen still has some seasoning to do. He's got to stay ready. We had to sit him for 11 minutes just so he can get ready to come back in because the Spirit Council said so.
Well,
And
it's
that's
not
just the conclusion I can
so
come
if
to.
you're looking game by game and if you're having a bad game, then I can see playing less minutes, right? Like that's fine, but it's not just one game. It's every game the same thing's happening. So then it's you need to be like, okay, why is Lowry having a tough season? Why is he not getting all the minutes? Like, is he upset because he's not getting minutes? Is he upset because of that? And then he's not getting the points and the performance that you want out of him, which is then leading to, oh, you're not playing well, so you need to sit, which is then leading him to get more upset, which is leading him to play worse again. So it's like, again, every cycle is in a negative
We're
direction.
getting heaters, man.
In a negative.
We're getting heated.
So anyway.
Oh, we've had enough. Just quickly, I've looked at I'm just looking at Markkinen's game logs this season just to see how the minutes have been split up from, after he's had a good game. I just want to see how the minutes are looking like. Uh, so one of his better games against the Wizards like a month ago when he was playing pretty well. So he had how many minutes did he play that game? He played 36. The next game against Detroit, 28. The next game, 29. The next game where he had 25 points. That was a blowout win against the Hawks, and he played 21 minutes to 25 points, and so that's a good game, plus 21. The next game he played the Bucks, and it was a close game. They lost by 10. 27 minutes for 18 points on 12 field goals, and I just don't understand. Like 26 points with 35 minutes, they back it up by playing him 28 minutes against the Pelicans. It just does not make sense. Like, why can you not give this guy a consistent 32 to 34 minutes a night at least? Even if he's playing bad, you need him out there, get him in a rhythm. I just can't put my finger on that.
So yeah, 4 out of the past 7 games he's played under 30. Actually, this game included, that's 5 out of the past 8 games he's played under
25 against
30
Boston.
minutes. And then let me look at his field goal attempts. So today he had 9. Last game he had 8, 9, 11, 9, 13. So the past 6 games he has not attempted 15 field goals. And it's how many has he attempted more than 15? He literally only I have it right here. He
Many.
only has
Yeah, look.
8 games of 15 field goals attempted or more. Every game that so the only game he has more than 20 field goal attempts is his 35-point game against Charlotte. 19 field goal attempts he has 31. 18 field goal attempts he has 26. Like every time he shoots, they're all good games. Like they're all decent games. His 4 top field goal attempt games are, I guess they've lost 4 out of the 5 top Lowry field goal games. So that's an interesting stat.
And the ugly thing there too, with the 15 plus, I'm looking at it now. So, and they're all been threes. Look at this: 10 3-pointers attempted, 15 field goals, 10 threes, 15 field goals, 10 threes, 16 field goals, 11 threes, 17 field goals, 18 field goals, 10 threes, 19 field goals, 10 threes, and in his best game this season, he took 7 threes and 25 field goals. So game one, great game. And then it's just him chucking threes.
Yeah, I just want
for
to
the rest of the season.
I just want to shout out Gary Bird 89 on Periscope watching us. Lowry plays better when Zach isn't playing. Maybe
Yes and no.
I would argue
Yes and no.
I would argue Lowry plays best when Zach is purposefully getting him involved and making plays for him. When when that's not happening and Zach is just isoing, then Lowry kind of there's no other person that can break down a defense and make plays. So if it's not team offense, if there's no cohesive team offense being played in that game, and LaVine is in like LaVine takeover mode, then no one's involved. It's funny because I would argue that it's not just Lowry not getting enough shots. It's probably everyone, because Kobe kind of does like Chuck is chucking it up. Levine's kind of chucking it up a lot of the time, and I'm not upset at Levine because he's keeping the Bulls in a lot of these games. But since Lowry should be that second star, it's a extremely top heavy distribution with a huge step function down, and then everyone else kind of gets equal opportunity. Whereas it should be like Levine has like 20 to 25 a game, Lowry should have at least 15, so like 15 to 20 to Lowry. I would argue they should be equal, but like let's say they're not and Levine needs the most, it would be like Levine 20 to 25, Lowry 15 to 20, and then after that, like Otto Porter would fit in there, but there's no Otto Porter, so then it can be kind of more equal opportunity for every single person else involved, with Kobe getting his 10 to 15, so he would be like the third most shot taking guy on the team. I think is the best distribution of shots. Obviously, you're not gonna pinpoint and like calculate every shot that everyone's gonna take every game. It's with the flow of the offense and how that goes. So it's just there's clear hierarchy within the talent level
Check
of this
this
team.
out.
Go ahead.
So I'm looking at Larry Markkinen's last season game logs.
Yeah.
He played 51 games.
Yeah.
And he attempted more than 15 field goals and 30 of those 51.
30
and
of
this
them?
season, he's played 42. And how many does he have? 7.
He has 8
So
with 15 or
40.
more.
So he's got 8 with 15 or more.
Yeah.
And how many games has he played this season? 42.
Yeah.
Last season, he played 51. And he has
30. That's crazy. That's a crazy stat.
And half of those too is him coming off an injury, like before February when he was really getting it done, and he was still getting his shots up. I just like he never got up less. He only got up less than 10 in 5 games last season. He got up less than 10 shots 5 games out of 50.
Oh my god! And then wait, let me get this
is a
season.
joke.
I'm gonna get this season's less than 10.
This is a joke.
I'm gonna get this season's
Oh
less
my
than
goodness.
10. He has 12 already with less than 10
In
this
40
year,
games.
and then 17 with 10 or less. So if you include the 10 field goal games, it's 17. If you include 9 or less, it's 12. And 44. So yeah, I mean, I feel bad, man. I feel bad for Lowry. It's not just I feel bad for Lowry. I feel bad for the team. Lowry getting shots up is good for not only Lowry, but also good for the team. It's not taking away from one is not taking away from the other.
Yeah.
Not
And the thing is too, like I'm looking at this. Last season when he took less than 10 shots, the Bulls were, including 10 shots, so anything under 10. The Bulls are 1-7 when he took less than 10 shots.
yeah.
And obviously last season the Bulls reeked, but like it's
Anyway,
just
yeah,
inexcusable.
the wins don't really correlate as much. I wish it correlated a little bit more, but it doesn't. But with that, I think that's a good stat and good kind of chat to end this podcast. It was a decent game in the first half. We had some fun, but it was kind of like I never felt like we had a chance really. Even when we were up in the first half, it just seemed like it was Philly was gonna figure it out. Ben Simmons was just too dominant, and the defense was just too stifling for this non-cohesive Bulls offensive unit. Do you have anything you wanna plug or anything that you wanna say to close us out?
I finished a Wendell Carter piece why he's the most valuable Bull the last few days, and I'm working on something pretty big to do with his management. You guys will see that in the next couple of days, but that's it from me, really.
For sure. And hit us up at Bullish Hoops, DM us, talk to us. We also haven't been having rando guests on the pod recently, so that's all going to change next week. I'm putting shit in order with my own stuff, so that's going to show with Bullish as well. But Josh and Stevie have been holding it down. Tomorrow night, Josh, are you going to do a pod for tomorrow? Because I'm out tomorrow. I know Stevie is too. If you're not, that's cool. So there might not be a pod tomorrow.
We'll get a
Josh,
pod.
there
We'll
will
get
be
a
a
pod
pod?
There will be a pod.
Let's go.
We'll
So
put it out.
expect a pod with our boy Josh and whoever he talks to tomorrow night. We will chat later. Peace out.